What's up, traders? I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to talk about my most recent trade. This was a GbpJpy long position that I took yesterday, Thursday, almost said Friday, Thursday, March 11th, and I held the trade into Friday today, March 12th. The reason why I want to break this trade down for you is because I think it highlights my trade management rules, and I think that's what a lot of you that are struggling or not being as consistent with your trading results as you want to be, I think that's what you're missing, is a really solid trade management system. Now, trade management is just one piece of an overall, when you look at like a complete trading system, it's just one piece of that. But I think it's like I said, an important piece that a lot of people are lacking or missing completely. So I want to emphasize that today. Now, let me show you the results from the GbpJpy trade. So you can see I have two entry positions. All of these exits are just as the trade moved in my favor, I was closing the trade in profit. That goes into the whole trade management system. The issue with this trade, what I didn't love about it, was that it had already hit overbought here. So knowing that it already hit overbought, sometimes we can see it hit that level again and bounce off it. So when I'm reading the risk reward on the 1 minute, I'm trying to get a tight stop loss because I know I could just trade this up to high of day, see it bounce off high of day and come lower since it already hit overbought. But that's not going to keep me out of the trade. Being overbought does not prevent me from buying it because we're trading in trend, and we know it can be overbought and still move higher. The back testing tells us that. So here, I'm reading risk reward. It's about 3R, about 30 pips of rise with only 10 pips of risk. That's a great trade. So when I can find an entry signal and I can get the D1 trigger on the 1 minute, that's my entry signal, then I know that, okay, because the risk reward here is good over 2R, then this is a signal that I want to take. Now, the quality of the trade is determined by what I don't like about it. Like I said, it's overbought. Other than that, though, the only other thing that I didn't love about it was that the 8 and the 21 had not shifted up yet. You see how the 8 EMA, the yellow line, is underneath the red 21 here before the entry? It shifts up as I take the position, and then it holds the 8 EMA. That's what I'm looking for in these trades, is for it to get above the yellow 8 and hold the 8 as it moves. So trading from in a downshift to basically taking the entry as it shifts up, that's not as probable as it could be because it would be better if it was already in the upshift. So those two things are not serious knocks, the downshift and the divert and the overbought, but there's still something I have to take into consideration when grading it. So I gave it a B. I didn't call it an A because it's definitely not perfect. We just talked about why. And it's definitely not a C, which is a low probability trade because I'm still trading in trend and the things that are wrong with it are not that big of a deal. So I'm trading it as a B trade. Now with my B setups, the trick here is that I don't move my stop loss in profit and I don't take profit as quickly as I do with my C setups, my lower probability trades. My C setups, once it moves 1R, I lock the stop loss. So if I had treated this like a C setup, it would have moved 1R, and probably just because of spread, once it did, I would have had my stop loss right here where this black dotted line now is. I'll put some text on it so you can see. If I had put my stop here, these pins probably would have got me out. But it never broke under the 8 EMA. It was just a little volatile while still closing above the 8. And I've been pinned out of GJ trades before, so I wanted to make sure I gave it space. So I waited until I was up 1.5R, until we started to push towards that high of day. That didn't happen until 8 a.m., so literally 2.5 hours in the trade before I take any profit or move my stop. But notice, once we hit that zone, my stop loss was locked in profit. I'm already 50% out of the trade at this point, and now I'm watching it to see if it breaks under the 21. And notice how it does not break under the 21 and hold. It also doesn't cross the 8 under the 21, which is a good sign that it should continue higher. So I held half the position into the overnight. Overnight, it ends up pushing over 80 pips from the entry. I didn't take any profit here as it did make that push, even though I saw it happening. I was able to watch this happen, and this is where I made my mistake. I should have taken some profits here, especially since it was touching overbought again on the TDI. I ended up just leaving my stop loss here at the newest structure point because we saw it consolidate there. So stop was locked in profit and I went to sleep. So by the time I woke up, because I slept in, it was 7 o'clock and I was stopped out of the trade here. So I didn't get to take any of the profit out here, which I should have done. I didn't manage it well because I was just being a little bit aggressive, a little bit greedy, probably thinking it would just continue into today. And that's just not what happened. Friday, end of the week, that's why we probably are seeing it pull down here and find some consolidation at the bottom near the 200. So